What's going on, guys? It's your friendly neighborhood FUD fighter, Michael T. Ragland, coming back at you from NFTU. Today, we're going to be jumping in and talking about World of Women and a bunch of other trends that are popping off in the NFT space right now. And I'm bringing in my main man, Mustache Dan, in the building. I just gave him the nickname. We just came up with it. So, Creeper Stash Dan, how you going, mate? Yeah.
Mate, wearing face masks is brilliant because I can get away with this. I can grow the beard out. I can get a Dirty Mo. Dirty Mo Dan, that'll be the name from now.
Oh, I like that. Dirty Mo Dan. Done. Signed. I'll get your shirt. Dirty Mo Dan is in the building, dude. So what's going on, Dirty Mo Dan? What kind of trends have you been seeing in the NFT space recently, mate?
It's interesting. It was probably 4 or 5 days ago. I shot out a tweet saying there's 3 main things that are going to happen in the industry coming up in the near future. One was the Asian market is going to go up and it's going to go big. And apparently there was a news article saying something about China accepting NFTs, and we're seeing that started to go up as well.
Yeah.
The other one was...
I saw that as well, with the China accepting NFT stuff. Like, what, before you jump to the other stuff, what have you seen? Had you seen anything particular from the China market as far as projects wise? What has there been anything that you can point out?
Yeah, the 8 Asian one, or the Asian one. I don't know how to say the name.
Yeah.
But there was people saying, was that actually a scheduled launch? Was that a planned launch waiting for this news to happen? Interesting.
So, just for it to pop out, just to kind of catch on the back end of the news.
I love Illuminati, but yeah, I don't know.
Cool. What else have you seen?
The other one that I was talking about is the females in NFT and the amount of NFT releases that are happening at the moment. And some of them have actually been from a while ago. Now they're just coming to life and kind of getting that spotlight that they deserve. And the last thing that I was talking about in my tweet was the Mechaverse style and how that's really going to explode. And we've seen that already with a couple of recent launches.
Yeah, you have seen that. I just wonder, I think we talked about it in a video a while ago. Is there going to be more of those? Because when I think about it, the first ones I can think about, Megaverse is the main one, then the other one being metarim. And I wonder, is there going to be more that trickles out kind of behind that one?
Oh, yeah, I think there will be. It's interesting. It's the artwork is great, but if nothing comes from it, if there's no follow-up on the promise, if there's no utility that comes soon after the reveal or the launch, like metarim's down to 0.0 something, like that drop.
I hadn't even seen that.
Yeah, that got up to 0.6 at one point in time before the reveal, and this is the big thing. And I'll say this to anyone that's launching a product: you need to be extremely careful with your reveal. Because if you build up the momentum so much and people don't get what they want, I can guarantee your price is going to go below floor. And that's exactly what's happening to a lot of these projects. So
it's at 0.065 right now, which is...
Bring up the activity. Bring up the activity.
So let me... I'm sorry for my face in the middle. Let's get my face out of the way. Cool. All right.
That was cute there, mate.
So looking at the activity there, I mean, there's a 0.15 sale 7 hours ago, 0.8... Yeah, that's nasty. And it just dropped off a cliff. I'm sure if we keep going, which I'm not going to do. Oh, there's 0.6 there. That was only a day ago. So it's kind of mixed, but it fell off super hard. If I went back probably, 2 or 3 days ago, I would see like all those other big sales. So looking at something like that being such a huge drop from, what was it, 0.6 at its high?
I think it even got 0.7. Yeah, it clipped out. And I actually sold because I was like, I got in 0.08 and I was like... 0.2 I sold out, and I was like, I really don't feel confident about this reveal.
Did volume just slow down, or what was the cause? Did it just dry up, or?
There's a couple of things, and I think one the volume. There was so much hype, so much drive, so much, and they even wrote that thing in their Discord saying the first person to purchase a 2 ETH sale would get a reward of some sort. So like they were trying to encourage that price to go up, and I think artificial inflation or like trying to encourage people to push the price up is not the way to push the price up. And then when they actually released it, there was no rarities. So they just released them, but no properties were attached to the NFTs. And I'm not sure if that's because it was a multi-chain release that they didn't, so they couldn't have it on. I don't know how Binance works with their listings, but on the left-hand side, if you click on an NFT where it usually has all the properties, it has nothing. Yeah, you got your about, details, properties. Oh, sorry, properties. Yeah,
I'm looking at it right now. It's country JP level 3.
So they've got it now, but they didn't have it at release.
So it's just different levels, though. It's not by...
Yeah.
Because if I was to go in and I clicked on a level 3...
So the JP is obviously the Japan model.
Yep.
They would have different countries that mean different things.
Yeah, like we talked about,
But at the time of release, they had none of that there. because I was chatting to some people about rarities and kind of, you know, what's the rare ones, and no one had any idea.
Right. Okay. We're not going to spend too much time on that because that was last week's conversation. But I think it's just super important for us to kind of show you guys all these different trends and things we're seeing. Like in the last video where I talked about my strategy when I'm trading and what I'm thinking, like from a mental standpoint. And I think this is another thing. Like if you were listening to Dan, he kind of shared an exit strategy and what made him kind of jump out of it, because he's seen those things that came out like with no rarity and just weird stuff, and then making promises that probably can't be held up. So he very wisely jumped out, and you've seen that bottom drop straight out. So that's just a few things to keep in mind, guys, when you're wrapped up in these projects. Like, don't be afraid to sell. Like, don't wait for anybody else to tell you what to do. Set your strategy. If the tea leaves aren't looking right, get out of there.
Yeah. Cool, and it was interesting. I was listening to a Twitter space. It was the one with the iJustine and what's his name?
And Voltura from Psychedelics Anonymous. Yeah,
and he was talking about, this is a bit off topic, but he was talking about how he would lose sleep over his NFTs. He had his Bored Ape Yacht Club, and like he would just be like waking up in the middle of the night looking for the news, making sure nothing's happened so he doesn't have to sell. And I think you can't live in that mindset. You are going to make stupid decisions, lose sleep, lose relationships. You need to be smart with your NFTs.
And I don't want to go too off topic. It's probably another video that needs to be had, but that's why I started like checking myself mentally, right? Being like, hey, like, why am I so caught up in this? But I think a lot of times you're caught up in it because you probably had a bad entry, right? You paid too much for something, or you bought something in the hopes that it would go up. But it's super simple to me. Like a very common, like, phrase, and when it comes to stock trading, is that if you want to find out what's going to happen in the future, to look to the left, meaning look to the past on the chart, and you can probably see what's going to happen in the future there as well. Like, and it's so easy right now, since I think NFTs are such a new market. If you slow down and stop being emotional and actually look at what the data is telling you, you can probably make a lot better decision. We'll have more videos, it's more strategy based as well, Dan, but I just want to switch back over and jump back into what you mentioned before about seeing women in the NFT space and some of those projects. So is there any projects that you want to show us?
There was one that I was looking at earlier, and it's the Women and Weapons. There's some wild art. I love this sort of stuff, man. It's interesting. Sarah, the creator of this one, she's an artist and she has some amazing work. And there's over, I believe it was 200 attributes that she's hand-drawn painstakingly over many months. This project, Drop of 10,000, launched last October. And I think they've got a bit of spotlight recently, and they've just shot up and they've gone crazy recently. Let's see what the floor price is, 0.45. We'll have a little look at that activity because that's what we like to do. And you just see that volume come in strong. So, and that's great to see. I think it's really cool. There's a couple of things. It's like the weapon and the women. She's like, why the hell not? You know, that's a great combo. So Sarah's pulled that out. So she's saying, why not? Women can be badass too. That's perfectly right. And they've been really great. They've given some money back to a foundation that kind of helps support women be educated and then step up to leadership as well. So that's really cool.
Is this the same one that Reese Witherspoon invested in, or is that a different one? I feel like I think it may have been this one or other one that she jumped into.
I don't know. No, it wasn't this one. I wonder if she's.
So what's that? What's her PFP? Yeah, World of Women, and the ones you're showing is women. Let's look at World of Women and see what that looks like. I'm just curious.
Yeah, of course.
Because that may have been the catalyst one. I'm trying to figure out which one was kind of like the catalyst for it.
I think this is the one that kind of shot like crazy. Yeah. But I think this is what the guy, the podcast again, I've forgotten his name. He was talking about it earlier, and he'd held on to it for ages. Let's go all time and see how long ago. Yeah, they launched back. We're looking July last year.
Yeah, he said he bought it like super low and just held it.
Yeah, and so he had quite a few and sold some off, and we can see those go. But let's look at what we got. So 7 ETH floor. That is wild.
And I wonder, when did it take off? But how recently was it? It feels like it had to be recent.
Let's see. I mean, started to pick some volume up on start of January. Yeah. There
you go, and you can see that, like. And just look at those sales and that volume. Like, I'd be curious. This is probably like a deep dive we'll have to take for a different episode to figure out, like, how did it get into Reese Witherspoon? There's a bunch of other female celebrities and stuff that invested to it as well. I just think it's super dope to be able to start that movement? Because I know Reese Witherspoon herself is all about female empowerment. So I'd be curious on how it even got in front of her. So guys, we're learning this stuff along with you guys as well, because the thing about us, like Dan and I are constantly watching the trends and the charts, like all the time. If I'm sitting in my office, I'll have up a tracker to show me live what's being minted, what's going on, and things from IC Tools or NFT Nerds or whatever that I'll see. And we picked up on it because of that. But now if I look back on this and seeing that it was actually on the 6th of Jan, a Women in Crypto Day, this whole narrative is really starting to really form, isn't it? Yeah.
And do you think, and I suppose, like, do you think the Women in Crypto thing, why hasn't there been that presence? Like, obviously they needed a day because there isn't that there, but why?
It's such a weird thing, right? Because I think about like when we first were starting NFTU and we were doing this, we just looked around and like I use the term guys loosely, right? But I would say that and I'm looking and I'm like, we have a team of a lot of us, but it's no women that are actually on our team. So we're actually looking for somebody to get involved because we feel like we want to get every opinion and every angle of these things that we're trying to do. And I feel like if you just have an angle of us, it's not going to be as good as it could be. As far 100%. As why it hasn't been, it's interesting, right? Because when I look at like crypto Twitter, there's a lot of women that are into crypto that are killing it, you know, making tons of money, running companies and doing things as well. But in the NFT space, as far as from a creator perspective, I haven't seen a lot. When I think about like when I work with graphic designers and things like that, like a lot of them are women, right? So it's one of those things. Very
amazing, talented people, yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it just blows my mind that it hasn't been a lot of representation in this space already. But the thing I love about the democratization of like blockchain is that it's open for everybody. So I love that it was so easy to onboard like a group of people that weren't fairly represented and get them in and really get it rolling from Women in Crypto Day. Now you got me curious. Like I don't want to make this video 10 hours long, but I'd be curious about who started Women in Crypto Day and how that got started. So I'll probably share that with you guys in the next video because I want to do some research because I want to find out more. I don't like to just talk about it without being fully informed, you know?
Yeah. You made me think I'm just going to like the last sales in the last hour to kind of look at what sort of projects we got there because I think it is something that's happening. And I really hope a lot of these projects have females actually behind them, not just kind of people taking advantage of that trend at this point in time. It's a thing that happens, man. And as you said, it's crypto, it's the Wild West. Anything can happen as well. But we've got Fatalas, I believe. Let's have a look at this one. 10K all-female collectibles. That's at the top there.
And that's Fatales, you uncultured swine. Yeah.
Man, I'm from Australia. I don't know.
Yeah, like
the Asian main collection. We've got Irene Dow. I don't know what that one is.
I seen that. Like, see, you're gonna get me confused. Like, I clicked on this last night and I did not understand. So, if you guys know what the deal with this is in the comments, please let us know because I saw this and I was like, you know what? I don't have time to research this because I don't understand what the hell's going on here. But something's happening because that was the floor is at 0.69 now. When I seen it yesterday, it was way lower. It just confused the hell out of me, so I didn't dig into it. But in the comments, let us know if you know what this is all about. I'm not sure. Like I know it's this one kid from I forgot what country he is from, but he took like a selfie for a day every for 5 years, and he sold them for like crazy amounts. But so I don't know if it's something like that. Just let us know. I just don't want to do a deep dive on it because I'm afraid what I may find.
Yep. Alpha Girl Club is another one as well, so that's coming up. But there's a lot of projects and I think that you see this a lot. There'll be something that's happening, I don't want to say trend, but like a topic or something like that. And all of a sudden, a whole bunch of projects will come up. And I think that's because there's a lot of hopium that comes with it. People go, you know, this project did well. Okay, we're going to focus on metaverse projects, and all these ones are going to run. Or we're going to focus on
stuff. I'm going to focus on that. Yeah. Apes, I can proudly say on this show that I finally like rid myself of all derivatives. So I see derivatives pop up on the tracker all the time. I'm finally free. I'm cured. I don't even bother. I just don't because I know they're just gonna pump and they're gonna dump. Like I don't even play that game anymore. What about you, Dan?
No, I'm still playing it, mate. Give me
it's a trap, bro. No, you're gonna get rubbed.
I've got to get rid of some derivatives, but we won't talk about that.
But I may steal the screen, man, because I'm curious, like, looking at that, because you showed us that was the last hour, right? So if I look at my screen here, and I can see, like, this is for the past 24 hours on OpenSea, and I'm just curious. So Asian main, you mentioned. I can scroll through here and I can see Alpha Girl Club's another one. World of Women's there. And if I keep going, I'm sure we'll see plenty more. But I think Rebel Society was one that I seen rolling. Women Rise. So without me even sitting here all day going through the screen, you guys can see like that further shows proof of what Dan is saying. Like when you see a trend or something popping off, people are going to kind of jump on the back end of it and try to take advantage, right? Because what happens very quickly for things that shoot off, like, you know, Women Weapons and World of Women, that go pretty fast. If it's out of your price range, you're like, oh, I can't invest in that, but maybe I can buy this other thing as well. So I just advise you guys to be careful with those projects, because it may not be enough hopium to float to lift those projects up and sustain. And I was looking at one of them the other on my last video, and what you got to realize is that if this project came out in, I don't know, 3 months ago, and it's been sitting at 0.02 to 0.05, and it all of a sudden shoots up to 0.1, everybody that was holding it is automatically going to dump straight away, because they're like, oh, I can double up at 0.1. Not a big deal. I paid 0.2 or 0.3 for it. And if you're buying it thinking it's going to go up more, you're going to be fighting against those people. And keep in mind, if it's a 8,000 people launch, you got to make your way through 8,000 people who are just happy to get rid of something that's been in their wallet for 3 months. So for me, when I'm picking my entry point, I want to give it a few days to see, can we clear those people out and see what the listings look like to make a more informed decision instead of chasing that demand, because it's going to go up and it's going to go right back down again, and it's going to kind of level out. And if you get that second run, you may be onto something.
Hey, I didn't mention before, but my little background here, you can't see the full picture, but that's actually the it's a self-portrait of the artist herself. Her name's Sarah, and
you got to bring it up, man. We can't do audience like that. Can you show us the full one? You got it still handy?
Yeah. I don't know if I actually have it on the screen.
I may have it.
Share my screen, and I'll show you a little.
I got it. It's right there.
No, you got it.
So that's
the picture.
The full version there. Her name is Sarah, right?
Yep.
Cool,
Sarah.
cool.
It's, I believe, I might be saying it wrong. Sorry, Sarah or Sarah.
So I wonder, was that like the top one? I would assume so, right?
Yeah, well, that was listed as number one. So I'm not sure if it was the top one or not. But
cool.
Yeah. All right. So what I wanted to show you, and you got my screen again. Thank you. Mm-hmm. He's here.
That's the one I was talking about. Oh, man.
Exactly, every day.
Good on him.
Do you know why he did this?
It was a project for graduation,
project,
right? Yeah.
Dude, and the guy has had 332 ETH traded. He's made 6 figures from this. For taking a photo of himself every day. I love Web3.
I freaking love it. Because I think the interview I read, he was like, I just put it up here just to see. He didn't think anything's going to happen. And then it was a celebrity chef that caught it, I think, tweeted it, and off to the races.
Yep. And one of the tweets he said is like, I don't care about me, but please be nice to my parents. And I was like, respects, man. That's where it's at.
Legit. Nah, so it's so good. Guys, we won't hold you too long in this video. Just want to kind of quickly get in and talk about what we're seeing. And that's something that we're going to do at NFTU constantly. We're going to always update you guys on some of the trends that we're seeing. So not financial advice, do your own research. So you can actually kind of have a look at the charts and look and say, oh, I got priced out of that one project. Is there anything coming up that's actually held its price point for a few days that I may be able to enter into? And it's like I said before in the video, guys, like we're really, really looking for more female representation on the team. If you have any dev skills, if you're a designer, you're just interested in crypto and you have a passion for educating people, hit us up at hello@nftu.io. Until next time, it's your friendly neighborhood FUD fighter Michael T. Ragland and Dirty Mo Dan.
Dan.
We are out. Peace, guys. Catch you in the next one.